As the India-China border standoff on the Doklam issue near Sikkim continues, the Red Army's shameless mouthpiece, the Global Times, has slammed External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj and called her a liar for her remarks yesterday in Parliament on the Doklam standoff issue. Sushma Swaraj had basically said that China is doing everything in its power to change the status quo. They've gotten down, dirty and personal.
If you need proof just how rattled and shaken China is by India's firm stance in the Doklam standoff, sample this. Already frothing in the mouth for weeks against a measured and calm India, the Red Army's mouthpiece, the Global Times, has slammed India's External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj for her remarks in Parliament on the Doklam standoff. The Chinese media stooped to a new low to call Sushma Swaraj a liar, and then again issuing the latest in a non-stop series of violent threats, making China look more like a neighborhood bully than a peacefully rising Asian power that it claims to be. The Communist Party-run editorial threatened Delhi with military action. Global Times editorial said, and I quote, "India should abandon its long-term fantasy of the Doklam area and withdraw its troops, failing which India will have to face military action." Ruling out simultaneous withdrawal, the Chinese media said that China will never engage in what India calls is double withdrawal. The editorial on behalf of public opinion reiterated that China cherishes peace but not at the expense of lost territory. This article shows just how frustrated and unnerved China is. With Anant Krishnan in Beijing, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's go straight across to Major General Harsha Kakkar, well-known defense analyst who's live with us on 5 Live. General Kakkar, what are you making of these mind games that China is playing right now? India has shown a lot of restraint, but now the Global Times newspaper, where every single word in that newspaper goes through the highest levels of scrutiny by the Chinese government, has simply gone ahead and called India's External Affairs Minister a liar, sir.
Two, three things. First, let's go back to how it started and what rattled China. China presumed that this would be a matter between them and Bhutan.
Yeah.
The fact that India came in rattled them completely. They couldn't achieve what they wanted to achieve and they were held back. They also know that India is a power which is not going to back down easily. India has not responded to Chinese rhetoric, still looking for peace. Now when China talks of war, let's face it, it mentions war across the LAC.
Yes.
You do not start war immediately. You've got to do a build-up, you've got to move up logistic stores. What they're talking about is something way behind. They're talking of an exercise they conducted 2 months ago.
Yes.
Everything is being monitored. It is a rhetoric. It is a means of applying pressure. It's a means of getting India to back down. India is not going to back down easily. We know it. We're not looking for war. We're only looking for a simple thing. Maintain status quo.
Yes.
Stick to the 2012 agreement, where it was very clear, India, China and a third party implying Bhutan. It is the three of them that will finally come out with a solution. Once that is done, then things can move forward. Why are you jumping the gun? But they were hoping that they would push their way through Bhutan like they've been doing earlier, offer Bhutan financial deals, offer Bhutan exchange, and yet get over the Doklam plateau, which they've not been able to succeed.
Yes.
So what is the option now? Apply pressure. Go in for warmongering, create panic within the Indian community, which you already saw Mulayam Singh yesterday. The aim is to create this panic and compel India, or compel the government from the Indian population to step down.
Okay.
And the government is sensible. The government knows.
Yes.
And the government will only react once it's certain.
No, it's amazing, isn't it, General Kakkar, that this time around China is looking so completely rattled. They're looking so completely shaken. They're calling ambassadors, they're briefing them, their foreign ministry is issuing these statements every day. They're issuing these statements and editorials through their state press as well. China has never, China is usually a mysterious, enigmatic kind of country behind an iron curtain. You never really know what they're thinking. Their long-term intentions, lie behind a veil of obscurity. This time, it's very clear how rattled they are.
Yes, and the reason, it's also got a reason. In another few months is the conference of the Chinese party. That is when Xi is going to get into his second 5-year tenure. If something goes wrong prior to it, if you try and start a war which you can't afford to win, if this standoff continues till then, what happens to Xi's chances? Look at the pressure that's going to come from his opponents. He has to ensure that everything gets settled in a manner which is face-saving for the Chinese, settled in a manner which gives him the strength to continue and obtain a second term. He doesn't want to lose his chair.
Right.
So for him, it is most important that he continues with the pressure, tries and gets India to withdraw, and tries and settles it as close to the Chinese requirements as possible.
Right.
So therefore, he is under more pressure than what we are in.
Absolutely. Well, China at this point of time has, like General Kakkar just pointed out, not just talked about retribution, teaching India a lesson, escalating the situation in the Tri-Junction area, but like General Kakkar said, they want to apply that violence all across the line of actual control. Thousands of kilometers of disputed border that the two countries share. It's the most ferocious threat from a country like China so far. We sent India Today's editor Padmaja Joshi to the line of actual control in Ladakh, in the Ladakh sector where there's a long disputed border. She sent us this report from the ground to tell you how the standoff in faraway Sikkim has affected every part of the border with China.
It's been more than a month in the tense standoff between India and China over Doklam, but now China is deliberately trying to provoke India by getting in Jammu and Kashmir, saying that Ladakh is a disputed territory. So at Demchok, which is the border point between India and China, is this behavior by a suddenly aggressive neighbor having any effect at all? In fact, this time is one where tourist activity is at its peak in this entire region of Leh Ladakh. Most of it goes on unhindered, despite what many people are talking about in hushed whispers. The only difference that this is making is that plenty of Chinese tourist groups who were booked for this time to come to the Leh Ladakh region have cancelled their tours. With camera person Zahir Bagh, in Ladakh, Padmaja Joshi for India Today.
General Kakkar, when China threatens India with escalating the situation and, raising the level of consequences for India, not just in the Tri-Junction, but all across the line of actual control, does that go beyond mind games? What exactly are they saying?
It is more towards mind games. If you have to move towards operations, the build-up is going to take months. And as it is, this is the rainy season. So as you're going to look at it, nothing can move for the next few months.
Yes.
China cannot afford to wait for a few months, because for them, few months more and the entire situation in China will change as the Congress gets close.
Right.
So for them, it is to resolve this issue, and for them, for the major face-saving factor is India must pull out first. In all probability, though officially there are no back-channel talks, but talks are on. When the NSA goes there, there may not be any official talks, but definitely the two would meet on the sidelines. Whether it comes in the press or not is different. China, it is important that India pulls out first, maybe a day or two before they do, but definitely the intention will be to maintain status quo.
Yes.
Which is what we want. We're not looking for egos. India is not looking that you pull out first, we pull out second, or we pull out simultaneously.
Yes.
What India wants very clearly is status quo to be maintained. You agree to do it, whoever moves first, that's the answer. We can come back within 2 hours.
Absolutely.
We can move back by 1 hour and come back again.
Okay, so there is supposed to be a mutual kind of de-escalation by both sides. Gaurav Sawant, our executive editor, is also with us. Gaurav, how close are we to some kind of a mutual de-escalation? Because China says, forget about this mutual de-escalation, mutual pullback. If India doesn't pull back first, then face the consequences. And they've called Sushma Swaraj a liar.
Shiv, from what government sources tell India today, they completely disregard media reports. They do not react or respond to media reports at all. The interaction between the Indian and the Chinese governments, that is where they will focus on. Now, how many interactions at what level, government keeping its cards very close to its chest, at the same time insisting channels of communication remain open. But Sushma Swaraj's statement makes it very clear, withdrawal has to be mutual. Both sides have to pull back. And as General Kakkar was saying, it doesn't matter who pulls back first or the timing, as long as there's a tacit understanding that both parties will move back and there will be a status quo ante, which means that there will be no road construction in that area till the time this matter is sorted out bilaterally first between Bhutan, China and India, China. So that is something that India is very clear about. But as a plan B, as a plan C, as you and General Kakkar well know,
yes,
security forces also always have a plan B. They could well be in for a long haul.
They could be in for the long haul. Final comment from you, General Kakkar. What do you see as the way forward? What do you think the government's next move is going to be? Recognizing these as pure mind games coming from China, is India's strategy still going to be wait and watch, hold your calm, hold your peace and work it diplomatically?
Part of what you said is absolutely correct. It is going to be wait and watch, hold your calm, hold your peace. And at the same time, carry on the conversation. There is always a solution to any problem. No problem can ever continue for a long time. We've had standoffs before. We've had mutual pullbacks. Whichever party has pulled first has been irrespective. But we've always moved back.
Yes.
Here we've created a hype because China did not expect the reaction that India did, because it was expecting it from the RBA, the Royal Bhutanese Army, and they just brushed them aside. But with India, what happened was something which was unexpected. And this has jolted them, for which they've now gone into the rhetoric. So ultimately, the answer will be, finally at some level of talks, you pull out, we follow, and we will maintain status quo, we will do nothing. We will slowly pull back, but we need time to pull back to save face, especially with the Congress coming in and Xi heading in for a second tenure.
Absolutely. I want to bring in, I want to go straight across now to Ladakh, to the line of actual control, where Padmaja is live with us. Padmaja, we just played your report out for our viewers about the impact that what's happening in Sikkim is happening, has a definite impact on the line of actual control everywhere. You're reporting from the ground there. Tell us about the changes that you see. You've reported from there before as well, with China threatening to escalate the situation across the line of actual control.
You know, Shiv, it is a cause of worry for people here right now, for the simple reason, as you would know, that this is the time that you see peak tourist inflow into the Leh-Ladakh region, and that really is the backbone for the economy here. Now with this entire aggression by China, and we know that last week they suddenly brought up the issue of Ladakh. Now they've called it a disputed territory. So people here are wondering whether they want to up the ante in this particular region as well, where it shares a border with India. But the locals here, apart from Demchok, where it has been a habit of China to continuously stall any development work, so far they are saying they're not seeing any overt movement from the Chinese side. However, what has happened is that a lot of tourists who used to come to from China at around this time of the year, especially the monasteries in the area, they have suddenly cancelled. So there are these murmurs about what exactly is going on, but nothing close to what we are seeing right now in Sikkim. There we see this overt aggression. Here it is still a very latent threat that has been given by China. Whether it is going to materialize into something concrete over the next few months, that's something that is being spoken about, but the people here certainly hope not, especially since it has been largely peaceful over the years.
Okay, peaceful over the year. Let's see if things actually change in the months ahead. Remember, the harsh winter months are going to be here very soon. Padmaja reporting from Ladakh. Thanks so much for joining us live there, Padmaja.